Good day, and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. So in this video, I'm going to take you guys through a unit review for the Int SSJ Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. He is the new DFE for Saiyan Day for JP and Global, and he is pretty good. So his leader skill is Interplanetary Destruction and Movie Bosses, 130% HP, 170% attack and defense. His super attack, he raises attack and defense on his super attack, which is pretty good. Then he has one hell of a passive, which we will take a look at, which is, yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful. So he's key +3 attack and defense of 180%, reduces damage received by 18% and chance of performing critical hit by 18%. Then he launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of turning into a super. He then gains more ki, an additional 18% damage reduction and crit chance, and also launches another additional attack that can become a super attack within the same turn if there is a Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans category enemy. It's important to note that this additional 18% damage reduction and crit chance only happens after he supers. So before he supers, he will always have 18%, and then if he's facing a Hybrid Saiyan and a Pure Saiyan enemy, he will have 36% after that. So that's really important to just note. Because of this, because Broly is sitting there with a 36% chance to crit and an 18% chance to crit naturally, we really want to just build into additionals for him. The reason being is obviously additionals can proc multiple super attacks. I mean, Broly can attack like 4 times in a turn, super attack 4 times in a turn against the Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans. And because that's such a wide category, we really want to take advantage of that. He also obviously stacks attack and defense on his super attacks, so that's going to be super helpful because getting multiple super attacks is really going to increase that attack and defense. And yeah, so you want to go as much additional as possible, and then a little bit of crit to obviously help fill out that gap there. He then has an active skill, Ki +6, attack and defense of 60%, and attack effective against all types 1 turn, can be activated while performing 4 or more supers. So if you're facing a Hybrid Saiyans and you face a Pure Saiyans, you might get this to proc within like the 3rd turn, but generally it's going to appear roughly at 5 turns or 6 turns into the fight. It's not a bad active skill, it's pretty good. Obviously it's a massive damage buff, but beyond that, you know, we just want to be careful with that active skill. It's a great buff and it really is helpful, but it's not going to proc all the time. For shorter events, it'll definitely proc in all the longer events. So obviously we just take a look at his links. He's got Saiyan Warrior Race, which is attack of 5% up to 10% once it's at level 10. It's a very common link amongst Saiyans and some of the Hybrid Saiyans and some of the fusions as well. So that's a pretty good link for him to have. He can link up really well with all the Brolys, a lot of Super Saiyans, a lot of Pure Saiyans, you know, just a lot of units in general. So Saiyan Warrior Race is a very solid link. It's also shared by every single Broly, I believe. The Tech Broly, the LR Strength Broly, who you can't link with, but the LR Tech Broly, even the free-to-play Broly, the physical Broly, Super Saiyan Broly. Then he's got Super Saiyan, also another great link. It's attack 10% but 15% at max level, obviously shared by every Super Saiyan, which includes the legendary Super Saiyan Brolys, the Super Saiyan Brolys. It includes cards like the SS4s and the, you know, God cards as well. Saiyan Lineage is one of his key links. It's actually a very good link because he shares this with the Tech LR Broly as well. And Tech LR Broly only has 2 key links, Saiyan Lineage and Prepared for Battle. So it's actually really, really good that this Broly has that. Having Berserker is all the the Broly units basically, so that's obviously something you're going to want. Prepared for Battle, very common link amongst Saiyans, so really good again. And also, other key link he shares with the LR Tech Broly. Hardened Grudge is not a great link. It's really only shared between him and literally like 2 other cards that he like almost can't even link with. So you can proc it with the Paragus and Broly support card, but it gains attack of 10% at max rank, but it's not really worth it because it's difficult to proc. And then Fierce Battle, which is 20% at max level, and can be procced by any card that's been Dokkan Awakened, basically. So yeah, that's Broly and his links. Pretty good overall. You know, solid unit and everything like that. He's got a good link set. He's got quite a bit of key, obviously, with Prepared for Battle being a major key link. Because his passive also has key, it's really helpful for him in linking up on some of the weirder teams that he's on. But we can take a look at his teams. Pure Saiyans, he's really good on. Obviously, he can link with any Broly. Movie bosses, he can link with any Broly. You don't have to link him with a Broly for him to be useful. He is good as a floater because of his key and his passive. He is very good on any team, really. Exploding Rage, he'll be good on. Full Power, he'll be good on. Target Goku, he'll be good on. Inhuman Deeds, he'll be good on. Planetary. So he's good on all his teams as a main slot unit where you can link him with any Broly. He's a great tank, so he's a great first slot card. You can use him as a floating tank if you need, or you can just use him straight up as a tank for any other units that you have. So overall, he's pretty good from that aspect. In terms of the Planetary Destruction category that he leads, the new category, it's okay. It's basically just a way to mix movie bosses with some other villains like Cell and some Freezers. So, you know, it's not that important. Oh, and some Kid Boos in that. It's not like super important. But it is nice to know that there's a way to mix him with a couple of new supports and everything, and just basically build up from there. You can make a team with him and a Broly as a main rotation, and some Cells as the secondary rotation. So yeah, there is options. Unfortunately, you can't link the two legendary Cells under his category, but I mean, yeah, beyond that, you know, it's some options. I wouldn't say it's the greatest category. I don't think it's like a category that you absolutely need to have, but it's a nice option to mix, and it could grow in future as well, considering how many bloody villains in Dragon Ball Z completely destroy the planet or multiple planets. I mean, Vegeta does it in like the first 20 seconds, so there we go. But we're gonna run him here in this Dokkan event, his Dokkan event. He will be facing a Pure Saiyan, so obviously we're going to proc him as best we can. This one, so how I've worked it is this one is a 55%. I will have 100% in, or a multiple dupe one in the next stage, and then yeah, we'll kind of go from there and just see how he performs. In terms of damage, so one thing you're going to need to know about this in Broly, well, let's just obviously take a look here. So we've got him perfectly linked up. So he's got 5 links. Berserker's not activated, but he does have 5 links with this Broly, so that's pretty good. Solid combination if you don't have the LR, so that is a nice rotation for you. 107,000 defense, pretty good. Obviously he's getting 30% support from this Freezer. But 107,000 is, you know, really solid defense. Nothing to be too upset about or anything like that. Really, really helpful. And with his damage reduction, should be more than fine in the opening stages. In terms of this Broly, one difference between him and the other Brolys really is, well, he's really tanky, first off. Which is a big difference. Barring Wrathful Broly, there's really no other super tanky first slot Broly. Even the Strength Easy Aid one, yeah, you'll have a lot of defense if you have him with dupes and rainbowed, but even then he's still not a first slot tank like traditionally. Good damage, by the way, over 2 million by Broly there. Yeah, he's not a first slot tank traditionally. And here we're gonna get the multiple attacks. Do we get another super? No. But yeah, he's not, you know, Broly's don't have a first slot tank traditionally, but this Int Broly is a very good first slot tank. He becomes super duper tanky super quickly, and he, you know, like I say, he doesn't gain, so a lot of the Broly's gain buffs on super attack, like they will gain attack and defense on super attack, they will gain you know, like the Tech Broly, he gains attack and defense on super attack. This Strength Broly, he gains more attack and defense when he ultra super attacks. The Physical Broly, he has to stack attack and defense to really get going. So a lot of them are dependent on supports, whereas this one is not so dependent on supports, which is really, really good, obviously for him. Because one, that means that he's a lot more manageable and like variable in terms of team lineup, and then he's also just a bit better overall. So we're up to 118k defense. Again, really, really good. Obviously, not a lot of dupes in this one or anything like that. You know, he's not Rambo'd or anything. He's just got the standard hidden potential system. 118k defense. He's got 36% damage reduction after the first super. Against Pure Sand. So he'll be golden, considering the fact that his defense is going to rise even higher. So it's 2.1 million, which is very, very, very good. Very, very, very good. So yeah, Broly's really sitting at a solid point. There we get the additional attack, so you can see it's really building up now. His defense will be even higher. We're probably sitting around 130k now. And he won't take any damage from this. So there we go. This is just a Dokkan event, obviously. But I mean, Broly is serviceable in a large amount of content. I will do some videos of him in some SBR and things like that. Once I get time around on this weekend, I'll probably run him and the Strength Broly in a couple, SBRs just to show how they perform. Let people see how they do. The easiest way to do that is obviously to take a friend Broly. I won't be able to use mine, but yeah, it'll still be good. It'll be really good to see. And we'll probably run maybe the Extreme Int ESBR. We'll try and run that under like double Broly leads or something, and just take a look there. So yeah, this video was done before the Strength Broly got his Easy A. So that's why his defense is a little bit lower than it should be, and yeah, he's not going to dish out as much damage as he would now with his Easy A. The only shame is that obviously until Global gets the same name update, this LR Broly, this new strength one, which is very powerful, and this int one are not going to be able to run on the same team until then. But it's okay, because you will eventually be able to run them on the same team. You won't link them, but you can run them on the same team, which is obviously very good. So there we go. By the way, what's that? 176k defense. Yeah, 176k defense. So obviously he's got the support there from Metal Cooler. He did super twice last turn, but he's sitting at a very good defensive pace. We don't have Berserker active, which is a little bit upsetting, because that would increase his damage quite substantially. The only shame with Broly units really is that they don't have big bad bosses. They only have Berserker, which is like, it's a good link, but it only really comes in clutch when they're low, and it's nice for the damage increase, but big bad bosses obviously just elevate them to a much higher level in terms of damage. So here I'm really taking another super, but it's not going to do anything. 2.2 million again. So yeah, pretty good. Obviously before we had the Turles buff, so that was compensating a little bit for the damage. Broly hopefully gets another super attack. No, not at all. Not even crits. Perfect. But I mean, yeah, that is what happens. So yeah, Broly, as you can see, from a tanking perspective, very impressive. I mean, 2 million at 55% is nothing to be upset about. I don't think you should be upset that a card is hitting 2 million, without links being, max leveled or anything. I mean, he's got a lot of attack links that can all be max leveled. He could still activate Berserker, he's still got his active skill. So, I mean, you could see him hitting 2.5, a fully max link leveled Broly. He's gaining, about another 30% in attack from that. So, yeah, you could see him hit about 2.5. with some good equips. Broly at 55%, 2.5 million linked with another Broly. A lot of defense, like a lot of defense we just saw. So yeah, definitely a fully solid unit to use. At 55%, I think, you know, he'll definitely tank quite well. In events like Movie Bosses SPR, which I've already used him in, I did a video on it, and you guys will see that up on the channel. He's incredible. To cut a long story short, at 55%, he just dominates the event. He just controls it. He's just got so much tankiness. He just does so much, and that's great. It's really impressive, and I think it's good that Broly is that impressive from a defensive aspect, because it's really going to help other Broly shine around him, and it's really just going to help his team out, because his team in general, Movie Bosses, and that have been lacking some truly tanky cards. Now with Bojack, with Broly, they are sitting in a situation where they're a little bit tankier, they got a little bit more going on with them. So yeah, definitely much better. And yeah, fully happy with this. So here you'll see we've got a Rainbow Broly, so very impressive. And we're gonna actually link him with the LR Tech Broly. So the first one was a 55% Broly, and then this one we've got 100% Broly with a sticker. Very cool. This guy's built some okay. Like I said, you really want to go for more additional. That's gonna max out your damage across events. Because if you think about it, you're essentially with 18% and like 6 in crit, you're basically sitting with like a 24-25% chance to crit basically, when you work out the maths, because they don't, you know, they don't stack. Like you don't get 12% added onto your 18%. If you have 6, you get like 18% and then a 12% chance as well, which works out to like 26.4 or whatever. But either way, you know, the point is, yeah. But basically we get the Broly in the first slot. So Broly's got 130k defense right off the bat with 18% damage reduction. That's non-negotiable. So that's 130k defense. No links leveled. He would only gain 5% defense really from having his links leveled, which I guess puts him to like 138. But yeah, 138,000, 130,000, and 20% damage reduction essentially. He is very impressive. Very impressive from a tanking standpoint. That's enough that he can, remember there's no defensive support on this, it's just Turtles. That's enough that he is just going to not take damage from things, like at all. Like that's the same as a fully linked level 10 Rainbow Tech Super Boo, for example. Yeah, it's that impressive. 2.5 million as well. 2.5 million as an attack stat with a 40% attack support may seem a little bit low, but obviously his links aren't leveled, which is, you know, very important. If his links were leveled, we'd be looking at almost 3 million, you know, with a 500 int attack. You could put on additional equipment, you could put on crit equipment. Yeah, we'd be sitting closer to the 3 million mark, which is good. 3 million on a card like Broly. Remember, he's not fighting a Saiyan or anything. He's not. It's first turn. He could multiple super quite easily. So Broly having 3 million as an attack stat is very acceptable as a card, just due to how much else he's doing. I mean, look, he's already up to 156. Bear in mind that we don't have a support here, so this is just Broly at 156. So there was no defense last turn, no defensive support this turn. 130, 156 from one super. Very impressive. Obviously, we take a look at Broly here. We're just looking at all his links that are active, just going through what they're doing there. Obviously, he's got prepared for battle. He's got pretty much everything except for Grudge activated with this Broly, which is very good, obviously. And he's just missing out on the Berserk because we're not below 50% health. We're not going to fall below 50% health in a Dokkan event. I will get the active skill and everything so we can see. But yeah, we're not going to fall below that threshold at all. And we won't take any damage from this at all. Obviously, we've got quite a lot going on. So they're 2.4 again. Pretty good damage again. Yeah, there we go. 2.5. So 2.4, 2.5. He did 2 attacks. It's got 20% chance to crit on both of them, or 24% chance to crit on both of them. But pretty good. And again, we're not fighting a pure Saiyan or a hybrid Saiyan, so we're not getting those additional attack procs. But yeah, just him alone is very, very, very impressive. I mean, you see that he attacked twice. He's got 156k defense, 20% damage reduction. It's only turn 3, so he's doing 5 million in attack damage. He had no support on rotation. 5 million attack damage. 20% chance to crit on that damage. He's got massive amounts of tankiness. He's very impressive. And also super importantly for Broly is that he acts as a buffer for a lot of other Brolys. He can be that first slot tank for so many other Brolys. It's just going to allow them to shine. Like the Tech Broly. You're going to see the Tech Broly look like a absolute beast next to this guy. Because they share 6 links. But also, they share 6 links, and Tech Broly never has to go first slot, ever, because Int Broly is just going to cover him so heavily. So yeah, this is good for us, by the way. We actually see 230k defense is a lot. He won't take any damage now, pretty much from any event at this point. So obviously, after he supers, he's also not going to ever take any more damage again. I think we will. I don't think we're going to see this Broly actually hit anyone with this ability. So, yeah, it's also voiced now, which is nice. But yeah, so let's see in Broly. This is going to be his highest attack stat, probably. Yeah, 2.8 mil. So 2.8 million with support. If you link leveled him. Yeah, you could definitely hit about 3.3 million or so. Yeah, you probably would hit 3 million first turn. With the 30-40% support and level 10 links, you would hit 3 million first turn. And then just keep stacking from there. But as you can see, it does perfectly fine. He's multiple supering. I mean, he only didn't multiple super the first turn. So 2 out of 3 turns, he got his multiple super at 100%. His defense was well over 200k there. And yeah, you could very easily reach turn 5 and 6 in SBR or in other content. Like I say, long form content he's great in, and any other content he's great in. So here we are at turn 6 in the versus Z Warriors Infinite Dragon Ball History event, and I just thought I'd jump in there. We can just see some different attacks and numbers from Broly. Mainly just checking out his defense, obviously 160k there, and just seeing how it performs against non-Saiyans and Saiyans throughout the event, and just kind of seeing where his numbers lie. This is a 55% Broly, so it's not the 100% Broly, but yeah, it's a good view. So you can see turn 6, he's at 2 million there. No link levels again. He's linked with the Tech Broly. And he's got a Frieza on support. And Tech Broly obviously does a lot of damage. At 160k at turn 6, he's not going to take a lot of damage. So we're all good. And here we're sitting at over 200,000. So this is a little bit further on. Just before I got to the active skill, we'll show the active skill against Trunks, which came a bit earlier. I thought I would just show off a little bit of Tech Broly, just so we can show them being comparable. But yeah, obviously Tech Broly I've got 3 dupes in my Tech Broly, and I've link leveled them quite a bit, so his damage will be pretty good. And yeah, we've got the Metal Cooler on rotation. One nice thing is that obviously 230k defense, we don't have to worry about him taking any damage here. And we're sitting with some good numbers, 2.8 million, which is pretty good. This is a 55% as well, it's turn 12. So 2.8 million, 2.9 million. Very good, 20% chance to crit, no link levels or anything, so we could be sitting well over 3 million. So yeah, the damage is there. I wouldn't say it's mega ultra impressive damage, as in like it's not, obviously an LR nuking damage or anything, but 3 million on average and multiple super attacks in a turn is very, very good.
And yes, Tech Broly did do 11 million. Yeah, and he could do way more if he was linked with Strength Broly, which is, yeah, just very impressive. But yeah, we'll just jump back and quickly take a look at when I got the active skill with Int Broly, just so we can see a comparable. So yeah, pretty good voice acted skill line. I am a fan of obviously the original voice, which is just how it is. We're not going to be able to see his attack stat on the screen. We'll see it down below. It's over 4 million, which is very, very good. For his active skill, he's also super effective against all types. Unfortunately, it's a Dokkan attack, so we're going to get a crit and everything straight away. But still, it's very impressive that his active skill can push him to such incredible heights in terms of damage. And it's really going to help when you're finishing up LGE or these Infinite Dragon Ball histories. It's just super impressive showing really from Broly, which is good. Overall, I think Broly's kit is very, very good. I think he's very, very good, and I'm very happy with where he is kit-wise. So we'll just obviously look here. We're looking at the links for Broly. We've got Super Saiyan, Prepared for Battle, and the Saiyan lineage, I believe. So these are all the units that have that. Obviously, he can't link with Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, being the same card. They can't even be run on the same team on Global currently, but they will in future. And he can link with the Tech Broly, as we all saw. He also links pretty decent with the SS3 Broly. So most Brolys he can link with. So, you know, you're not going to have too many problems there. He'll be pretty good on a Pure Saiyans team. That's not too much of an issue. And then here are his good linking buddies from a Berserker perspective. Obviously the units that he shares Berserker with. He will share that Berserker link with Wrathful Broly as well. But obviously Wrathful Broly does not have Super Saiyan. So you want to prioritize Super Saiyan and Fierce Battle, because those are some easy attack links that you can get. And obviously Prepared for Battle you also want to pick up as well, because that's super helpful. And then Saiyan Warrior Race you can also easily pick up. So there's quite a few options, as you can see here. Broly's got quite a few options. He can be a frontline tank for this SS4 Broly, which is going to be an interesting combo. I may use them in a video as well, because they obviously share quite a few links. And so yeah, overall he's got some pretty decent linking partners. Most of them will be Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, Super Saiyans, but that's okay. I mean, you know, that is how links work. Generally, they're units that fall under a line or under the same category. Interestingly, he shares a decent amount of links with the Rose Goku as well, who also is a good buffing unit for him. So him and Rose Goku can also be a very solid combination. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's everything about Int Broly from me. I hope this video gave you guys a good idea on how Int Broly performs, and maybe what teams you might want to run him in. And yeah, let me know in the comments how you find Int Broly, whether he was worth it to summon on. I've got him. I personally think he was worth it, so yeah. But otherwise, I'll check you guys in the next video. And until then, stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you next time. But cheers, and bye!